Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. We're on the ladder on Point of Reach, B4 20x20 map, featured many times on the channel. Very fun map to play and watch. So you have the land, the navy, and the air. So the players we have, very high level game. Adjux in the bottom, in the red, playing the Aeon versus Obfuscation. And this is Blodir, also playing Aeon in the blue. First land, of course, from both of them. And yes, so Adjux is playing ladder again because of the Galaxy Cup that's coming up with a few £100 on the line. He thinks better unrust a little bit, so he has a chance of winning. I've actually missed the first two qualifiers, so I'm gonna have to qualify in the third one. Hopefully I don't fuck that up. I'm not sure who is already qualified. I'll have to check, but there's a link in the description. There should be. To the forum threads, you can see what's up with that. The next qualifier, and I think it's the final qualifier, will be on Saturday. So don't miss it. Should be people live streaming it, casting, playing, obviously. It's always the money tournaments that bring people back to ladder, really. Adjux prefers sentence these days. So, going for transport rush. Blodir has a PGen here. He's gonna make 4 more after the Hydro. Adjux, PGen here, 4 more after the Hydro as well. So, pretty much the same build order. Although, I do like that Adjux is expanding a bit faster to the top. Now, he's kind of slow on this one, actually, for some reason. But, well, no, he's just faster expanding, really, than Blodir, slightly, just slightly. And now the air factory is complete, but Blodir's faster on the transport, significantly faster. See the, yeah, very nice. Very nice build. And he can actually put, he's gonna put 5 on board, and he's walking with his ACU. He's gonna be lacking build power. He might, I would tend to stick around so you can build a bit more power with your ACU. Adjux is going left with his transport. He has 5 engineers on board, and Blodir is also going left. So we could have a bit of a battle on our hands for this island. And Adjux following up with a bomber. No interceptor from him now. Blodir going for the Inti. So he'll be aiming for the transport. Doesn't know there's a bomber coming. But if he uses air scouts, he will be able to spot it. But if it gets a drop, that may be all that's required to win this island. So it should be interesting to have 1 engineer dropped in these 4 mexes. It's quite commonly done. It's a very quick expansion there. And they're both going to drop at about the same time, but Blodir has less build power. Oh no! Adjux did not drop all of his build power. They dropped on top of each other. But Blodir only has 3 units of build power and they're idle. Oh, this is not going to work. Trying to build a factory here, that's just not going to work. I think Adjux, well, he doesn't need to do anything, does he? Because the bomb has landed and this island is his. Oh, you know what he could do? GG. He could just grab all of these and just fly across with the transport to the other side because he has a factory up. Well, he is going to use the transport. He's going to Try and drop across here, which actually could be very nice, but Blodir's ACU is headed that way. We have another transport slowly building. Looks like a lack of power is the problem here. That's what I would guess. Yeah, you can see Blodir actually has almost 500 power income. Adjux just over 300, so maybe microing over here led him to make some mistakes with his economy. Yeah, he could have grabbed engineers and just tried to fly straight across. That would have been pretty fun, especially considering his lack of power, and the transport is expensive power-wise. Blodir is already 65% to T2 air, which is impressive, and that's going to be really nice economy-wise. And if he can win air, he can do a lot of damage quickly. Ooh, he's making a lot of mexes at once, and it looks like he's not winning air, unsurprisingly, actually. Well, yeah, he could win air. I should have been watching that fight, but with Adjux's lack of power, and maybe he should have been able to win air. Looks like we have a pretty safe drop. Adjux drops right in the hydro because he does need that power. He's going to get this hydro as well, but at the same time, so should be back on track. He'll have like 600 power. That'll be good for him. Only one air factory, so that's not going to suffice for long. And the intis he does have are going to die. But nice job denying the production and then retreating when the AA goes up underneath them. Now Blodir, you can see much slower grabbing this. Although Adjux is missing most of the mechs on this island, only has the core 4. He's now moving across with a lot of Aurora. Got them very quickly, and they could do a lot of damage. He now can send engineers over here, send engineers across to try and steal some mexes, steal the mexes he raids. And Adjux drops here, but there's already a tank. Aurora takes care of that, no problem. And the ACU for Blodir can come across here, get rid of all these factories, get some reclaim. But yeah, he's probably going to need some PD to defend all these Aurora. There's quite a few coming across at him. Scout could probably take out that radar. That's about the only thing it could take out. And now we have a mass problem. And Blodir is going to have significant economy if we look. Yeah, he has 3 T2 mexes. Adjux, meanwhile, put his mass into all these Aurora and factories, a lot of factories. If you look at the factories for Blodir, far fewer. It's only thrown up these just now. So he sacrificed his air. He has no air control, and he didn't build many factories, so instead he has the T2 mechs advantage. But he's really under massive pressure on this island. It needs to be dealt with, so should probably be investing. Yeah, you can see heavily into air, and then he'll get some bombers. Gunships can quickly dismantle these Aurora. He still hasn't been able to take out this factory, so it's a big problem for him actually. 20 tanks on his island, and he has very little to deal with them. Adjux still expanding on his own island, suffering a bit of raiding on the right. His AT is still at home. T2 air for himself now, as you'd expect. It is a lot cheaper than T2 land. T2 air is very useful and important on this map, especially when it's an Aeon mirror. You really don't want to be fighting Swiftwinds with inties. Have an even battle, and also the speed is very nice for them. Now Blodir moves in, but there's a PD up now, and he's going to take a lot of damage. He's going to have to retreat now. He can't fight here. Needs to run away. It's going to go down to maybe 4k. The gunships are here to save the day. Yeah, he's just under 4k now. See the raiding Aurora moving in. X is being denied. I like it from Blodir. Just using a few. Doesn't have that many, just a couple of factories, and he'll probably stop spamming them at some point. Now here's the gunships. Blodir getting quite low, but he shouldn't be dying to this now. Gunships will do the work. And these Aurora probably should not be sent across. Might be time to stop making Aurora. In fact, because without air they will die very quickly on the water. Now gunships going out to raid. 2 on mexes as well. And in terms of economy, it looks like we still don't have any eco from Adjux. So I don't see any. Blodir, meanwhile, ecoing quite well. 4 T2 mexes here, 5. Another one. And we have Navy appearing. Just 1 factory each. You can see the Navy comes actually after the T2 air, which is kind of funny. Oh, we have another factory over here. So players choosing to use the Aurora for raiding rather than frigates. Which makes some sense because you want to get up factories on these islands anyway, land factories, so you can just send a few Aurora across, do some raiding, and they'll raid. Well, they have even more opportunity than frigates to raid, but of course they're a lot slower. This is a problem, but nice raiding here from Adjux, getting some mech kills, but Adjux is falling behind in score, and that's because he's falling behind in economy, now upgrading 2 at once. 2 mexes to T2 with a nice eco balance here. Just a bit of reclaim needed to fund it. Gunships out, getting caught out by a mobile anti-air. We have a lot of Aurora on the right side from Adjux. I don't know if he's going to be able to do much damage, but actually, look at this raid. That's quite nice. Blodir, I think both players should probably make a lot more T1 bombers. Just have them around. If they get 2-3 drops, I mean, they're going to pay for themselves 3 or 4 times over against these slow Aurora. Just a couple T1 bombers just around. Force your opponent to react to them quickly. Otherwise, they lose a huge portion of their raiding army. And this is actually pretty dangerous. There's no PD here. Oh, PD is trying to go up. There's only 1 engineer making it. Should be likely going to be complete in time. Gunships dispatched. And finally, the reclaim being gathered by Blodir. Kind of that really took a while to get rid of, and only now he's getting the mass boost from the reclaim. The Auroras fight over on the water here, and yeah, that PD was actually not close to being finished at all, and the Aurora just running over the expansion. Holy crap, man. Where the bomber's at? Bomber is about half a gunship in cost, more or less. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And it's gonna probably deal with the Aurora a lot faster. So only 2 gunships working on this. It's taking some time, and he may lose the factories, which means he's gonna have to drop more. Oh, he's already on point with that. Got the engineers on board. But this is bad. This should not have been allowed to happen. Unfortunate for Blodir. Well, not unfortunate. It's his own mistake, I guess. Now this is massive damage, and even some damage to the poor old Swift Winds. That is a hefty force of Swifties there. Adjux with more inties mixed in to his. He's not going for the T2 build power. Just staying on T1 factories. Blodir has multiple support factories here for his air. And actually this Aurora getting all the way towards the base. And look at the rating. Adjux doing a huge amount of work with these Aurora. It's really ridiculous how much damage he's done. I mean, he killed most of this island. There's 2 mexes remaining on this island. He's going to kill these 2 as well, probably. On this island, 1, 2, 3, 4 mexes are missing. This T2 mex is going to die. How is man doing so much damage with Aurora? He really does like to spam them. We played a Bermuda game where he must have made, I don't know how many thousand Aurora. It was very difficult to deal with. And he has T2 Navy now, but he's really lacking in T1 Navy. Only 4 frigates, 5 frigates around. And Blodir has quite a few more, 20 frigates. And even though he has 20 frigates, still Aurora just wrecking him. Should have some frigates here, frigates over here. Look at this island. It's completely dead. This is unbelievable how this island is just crushed. It's very, very strange. Now he's trying to be aggressive with the frigates. Looks like he's really, yeah, he's going for the, oh no, it's a couple of dead Swifties. Going for the production, looking for the naval production. His scouting is not too great now. He doesn't know where the production is. Hasn't actually seen the economy of Adjux either. So maybe not the best from Blodir, not his best game so far, but he's still doing reasonably well. I mean, somehow has the score lead. Somehow. Maybe it's the air production, I'm not sure. But it looks like he's backing out of this attack now. He's found the T2 HQ. There's a destroyer here. He's going to save these frigates, which I think is a good move. It would have been just a mass donation. As it is, he only left a few wrecks for Adjux to pick up. And he can do some raiding on the left with just a couple of frigates and a gunship. And over here, also doing damage. Now we have an air fight. Crucial air fight. Adjux with nice micro here. Getting in behind, but he looks to have less. And now Blodir with a very nice turn there. And that is... oh, there's a lot of inties coming in afterwards that may be able to clean this up. Oh, not the best turn. But it looks like he can actually finish these Swifties. And that's a win for Adjux. That's a big win. And he's also coming back online in terms of economy. See a lot of mexes upgrading. You see how he wins an air fight there. A decisive air fight. And then he just clicks up these mexes. He doesn't have an immediate threat right now. So you can see he wins air. Has very nice air control now. Is not under pressure at home or on his expansion. So he can feel quite safe. He has the mass. He can just start upgrading those mexes. He has room to eco in this scenario. And he really needs to eco, in fact, because of the situation Blodir's in. Look at all these mexes. He has quite a few T2 mexes, so even though Adjux now has control of 2 islands, although it's a limited control over here, Blodir is still toe-to-toe on economy. A lot of build power moved to the T2 naval. We'll see if that can make gains for him. The Aeon T2 naval obviously doesn't have a missile cruiser, so can be difficult at some points to do damage, but you can see these are great targets for T2 Navy. These mexes at the front here, if you can get right up close to this choke, you can hit some valuable mexes. You can hit this one. But obviously the real goal is to completely win the naval fight and push all the way to the base, kill the HQ, kill the production, the power. And you can certainly kill all of that with these powerful destroyers. T2 on the commander, a lot of swift wins, inties, and of course more economy. You can see Mex is upgrading here. Still Aurora coming out of these factories. And ooh, that is a large army of Aurora running over this way. Where are they going? That's quite funny, actually. You can see what happens to them. One frigate goes down. Got several kills in these frigates. Oh, they're actually missing. Look at the Aurora dodging. And there's even a PD, 2 PDs to stop them. Over here, looks like we have a pretty bad naval fight here for Blodir. 3 destroyers versus 1. And this guy has to run away. He's trying to drop on this reclaim, but he's lost the fight, so a nice idea is not going to work. And that is pure suicide mission. And the more this goes on, surely Adjux can run away with this, unless, I mean, what is Blodir's plan here? Play with less mexes and win? I really hope that's not his plan, because that does not sound like a solid plan. Over here we have a storage T1 mex, not something you want to see. He hasn't noticed. I think this mex died, and there were already orders to put storages around it, and it was T2. All these Aurora will just get picked off by the gunships, because we don't have any T2 land. Maybe, you know, some floating flak would be nice in this scenario. Very, very nice unit, especially when there's so much air going around. Ooh, that, now here's an idea. T2 land and a lot of blazes. A lot of blazes here. And he can run over this island just like Adjux ran over this one with some Aurora. Now he doesn't seem to have any flak mixed in, which could be a mistake here. Oh, I hope he doesn't lose these engineers. But no, he won't. That's a nice drop, taking this island very quickly, gets a PD up, and he should be able to deal with all the Aurora quite easily. Also, we have significant air. And he's trying to make use of it, getting some torp bombers, because the Navy doesn't look too good for him. He's lacking destroyers, lacking frigates. He only has 4 destroyers in total. We have 5 or 6, 7 even in this area. 7, yes. But well, now we have 2 cruisers, and Adjux really needs some power. Well, he's got T3 on the commander to get the T3 HQ, which is a bit unusual, more of a sentence thing. See, 2,400 for that tech upgrade on the commander. Less expensive than tech upgrades, say, for the air factory, the naval factory, or the land factory to go to T3, certainly. But often you'll see the factory go to T3 rather than the ACU, because having T3 air is nice anyway. But T3 in the ACU instead, he can get it a little, it's a bit easier, a bit faster, doesn't have to pause his production. Certainly going to cost, actually let's see the power cost, that's the interesting part. Only 50,000 power, yes, that is the real saving, isn't it? Well, 85, so certainly quite a bit cheaper and easier, and you don't have to delay your production. Ooh, we have a lot of air from Blodir coming in, and that's all Swifties. Oh my goodness, look at that force. He really wants to win air right now. And that's the only way he's going to stop this Navy, really. Although a couple of Destros have gone missing. I guess the torp bombers were doing some work. But now Blodir has equalized the islands once again. That's quite nice. I think this was a very nice attack from the Blades. You can see he waited until he had a decent number of them. He had about 20 when he started attacking the island. And that just leaves very little chance to react and stop the attack. If he was to attack, just rally his blazes straight away across the map, then PDs will go up and it would become a lot more difficult. This way he attacks and cleans out the island without any chance for Adjux to react, make PD, try and stop it. Because it's just dead that fast. So nice move there, and very glad his plan was not to play with simply less mexes. Extremely even game here right now. We have 183 mass per tick each, 123-24,000 score at 25 minutes, almost 26 minutes. This is not something you see very often, and now these blazes gonna make their presence known on the water, moving in. Oh, that's a T3 sonar that's going down. That's about 1,000 mass disappearing before it's been useful at all. One fun fact here: Exodus class destroyers kill blazes in one shot. Blaze have 1,050 health, and the destroyer does 1,060 damage. So blazes, maybe not the best versus Exodus class destroyers, but the real value in those T2 land units is if you can surround and get, you can get a lot of blazes around one destroyer, and then they will go down pretty quick. But against a force like this, blazes are not going to do much. There's too many frigates, but they can supplement your navy. So very few frigates from Blodir in comparison to Adjux. So we'll have to see which goes better. And I'm not sure really what the correct composition would be here. Whether you want to have more frigates here, as Adjux has. I hear some blazes being annoying. They're in the core mexes of Blodir, of Adjux, sorry, and he just needs to target fire some T2 mexes. He might actually take one out, but doesn't look like it now. Might kill a few storage. Actually, the friendly fire from the Exodus is doing more damage than the blazes, funnily enough. Well, a few storages go down. more funny than effective. A lot of T2 mexes around the place. But Blodir still ahead because he has far more storages. Look at that, 62 storages. And you can see he has stopped the T2 land production. It's achieved its goal. You don't need to keep making blazes if you don't really have a good place to use them. I mean, they would still be vaguely useful. You could try do some raids, but yeah, more focused on air and navy right now. You can see focusing heavily on getting destroyers out. Plenty of assists on this factory, and really focused on air. We have T3 air complete for him. T3 PGen, second one going up, so he's going to be ramping up air production. As Adjux has reached T3 air as well, and he has 3 T3 PGens, huge amount of power for him, so I definitely would like to see some recycling. Get rid of the T2 PGens. They're just not efficient in comparison. and that would give a nice mass boost maybe for this T3 mechs. So he has a decent amount in storage right now as he moves forward with his navy, trying to make the frigates work. But the frigates are really going to take massive damage. If we watch here, you can see how well the torps do versus them. Look at that. The shots are not landing, but the torps... Oh, well, there's a shot. Torps doing massive damage. Look at that. When they get into range of a few destroyers, they disappear. And it is hard to chase down those Aeon destroyers because of that. The torps are just so good. The measly torp defense on the Aeon frigate does not really have much effect at all on that. And Adjux now can actually do some damage. He's in position to take some shots, kill some T2 mexes, so he's going to take them out and then move on to the left. Now, one thing worrying, I have to say, is that Blodir has very little naval build power. He has recognized that. Should probably make this a T2 factory. Throw up another one. A couple here, maybe. Because he has a huge amount of mass in the bank, and Navy is the real problem here. He has 7 destroyers. And, ooh, this could... That's a very bad move order. He's not microing. Why is he giving this move order? Oh, that's a sad mistake. Now, Adjux smells blood. And he's moving in fast, but actually, he has very few destroyers, so... Maybe he's getting completely debated here this first. That destroyer is dead. And there's still several here, although they're low on HP. And now torpedo bombers come in. Adjux has engineers in the water. And look at these nice 4 factories as well. He's getting engineers reclaiming right now. So this is great actually that he's chasing away this navy. Even if he is going to lose some of his navy here, or maybe a lot of it, but in the interim he's going to work on this big reclaim field. This is the battleground now, the main area that will have to be focused on, as raids now become difficult with the way the map is split. When it's split this way, you can raid across these islands quite easily. The distance is very short, but split this way, which is the common split, it's difficult to get raids off. It's just going to be about air and navy. And these cruisers got right in under the force and did a lot of damage to the air. Look at the mass, the veterancy they have right now. It's a lot of damage done. And now Adjux retreats a bit. Blodir has stabilized the naval fight. He's not going to be pushed all the way back. Still going to be able to hold here, which is the most important point. If he has to come back to this location, the whole front island is going to go down. All the reclaim will be lost. So he has to really be very focused on navy right now. He has a lot of ASF and Swifties as well. 56 Swifties. And 36 ASF, that is a massive air force. And it's far superior to what Adjux has. 75 Swiftwings, certainly has more, but far fewer ASF. So Blodir has to make use of that right now. See some juicy T2 mexes that could be killed. Although there's already anti-air going up here. See that good choice from Adjux. Good to be ready with those anti-airs, and we need even more naval build power, I have to say. A lot of factories going to T3, and yeah, I'm not sure. He's not going to get any adjacency on these, so that's going to make those ASF very expensive to make from those support factories. It is actually... Yeah, it's very expensive in comparison to having some adjacency on those factories. You can see Adjux instead is choosing to just not invest in the more build power and just make Swift Winds instead of ASF. I'm not sure if that's a good decision or not, but we shall see. It's certainly going to allow him to keep producing all that time. If he wants to upgrade a factory, it's going to delay him almost 2 minutes because you know he's not gonna be assisting that factory as it upgrades. So just not going to waste that time. And then if he is fortunate enough to win air, he still has T2 factories that can make torpedo bombers. That's probably what I would do as Blodir. Leave some of these factories at T2 and just make torpedo bombers non-stop, because his air production is serious. Oh, this is and looks like a pretty nasty fight for him. Frigates getting in range, cruiser under fire. And he really is fighting hard for this reclaim. He does not want to lose all of it. He's already lost a significant amount. If we look at the reclaim total, Adjux 13k ahead. Just constant spam into the middle. It's a lot of frigates idling at the back here. They could be very useful. Another thing you could do, make some, again, 2-on bombers and bomb some of these engineers, because they're really funding a lot of Adjux's economy. He's getting a lot of mass from these guys. A couple of 2-on bombers would be nice to stop him sucking all the reclaim, so there's something left there for Adjux to grab. T3 mexes, definitely T3 mex time. And maybe we see some T2 land mixed in, get some shields on the navy. Would be nice to mix in Blaze again, because then you have the option of, well, helping your navy and also running off to do some raid. Run up here maybe with a Blaze force. There's a lot of mexes around to be killed, and a lot of beaches to run up. The focus is all on destroyers, constant micro back and forth to avoid those big shots from the destroyers. And at some point we're going to see the air come into play. It has to. As one player is under more pressure than the other, then he will be forced to try to use air to save his navy or even crush his opponent's navy. But when is that going to happen, and who's going to take the plunge? This reclaim is disappearing fast, and most of it's going to Adjux. It's now 19k ahead, and that lead accelerated, got a lot bigger in a short space of time. You see, he's the one with all the engineers controlling the reclaim, and Blodir just can't push this back. I wonder, will we see T3 Navy? That would be interesting, but I don't think we will. I think we'll just see constant T2 Navy. We won't see any subs, of course, versus the Aeon Destroyer. It's just too effective versus T2 subs. Although, if we had a lot of T2 subs, if we had a lot of production, switch to them, maybe it would be okay, but he doesn't really have time at all for that. It's all about the constant, all about this naval reclaim. And really, yeah, to the exclusion of everything else, nothing else happening on the map. Literally nothing happening except both these players trying to micro their T2 navy back and forth and upgrading mexes to T3. Well, gotta do what you gotta do. But this is just not good for Blodir. All this time he's fighting, he's not winning, but he's not losing. But he really is losing because Adjux is taking all the reclaim. Now maybe take these engineers and make a little arty base up here maybe. That would be interesting. That maybe earlier on, if he had started to do that, he could have really put a lot of pressure on Adjux and control the reclaim field with those arties. They do have the range. They would have been able to shoot anything coming into this area. It would have helped his navy. That would be quite expensive also, but it would have been interesting considering all All the reclaim is closer to Blodir, but he still has not been able to grab it now. Now finally he's in the ascendancy. He has so many destroyers, 15 destroyers now, 14 on the front line, and he's doing very well. As Adjux has just run out of destroyers. I think his production is not sufficient. Building a lot of frigates. Maybe he should be focusing more on the destroyers. He has a lot of cruisers as well, so maybe he doesn't feel too confident in his air. My god, there's so much air here, just chilling. And maybe this is Blodir. Blodir comes back here. He is behind in income, but I mean this number of Destras is amazing. So I think he can probably just run in and do a lot of damage with them, get the torpedoes going, and if you run in very close, then your Destros are not going to miss, or not going to miss as often. But I guess with the frigates mixed in here, he doesn't want to do that. Just wants to continue. Look at this, just constant micro. He just makes it so that the Destros are never not moving. I mean, there's quite a few of them out of range now, but he's winning this fight, and he has nice production. He probably could increase it even more, get more T2 factories up, but what he has gone for is a nuke launcher. He obviously had a lot of mass in the bank here because that's building very quickly. Halfway done, and it gets scouted immediately before it's complete. Adjux has flown a horde of inties right over, not inties, spy planes. And actually, that was a perfect time to scout, because this is the exact time where Blodir would start to make something different. He's just after pushing off Adjux, he's in the ascendancy in the navy, and he's getting a lot of reclaim. So that's actually a perfect time to scout, because that's exactly when Blodir would start some project. And has Adjux realized? He has not. It doesn't seem like. So great time scouting. Oh, he has in fact. Yes, so for some reason I thought the notification would tell me if he started a nuke defense, but that's not the case. It's not important enough. So excellent scouting, excellent timing, and excellent reaction as the nuke defense goes up. Now this is still nukeable. The front of the island, well, it's not too valuable just yet, although this will turn into T3 mechs as time goes on. So this nuke, well, let's see the economy. Can he balance it? Yes, he can. Could probably put some assist on there, but I don't think he's not going to be able to get ahead of this SMD. It's built far too quickly. But this is going to be a target. He could maybe nuke reclaim in mid, if there is a lot of reclaim still there by the time the nuke is done. Time will tell if this nuke was a good decision. This really feels like a settings game right now, just pure navy and then a nuke. That's an idle factory. Is this a bug? What is this? Look at that. He has a build queue and it's not building. None of these are building. Oh, it's not a bug. He has a unicap. He's on the unicap. Look, nothing's building. Oh no. Oh no, that's bad. And now we have an air fight. That's gonna definitely start everything going again. I wonder if Blodir must be close to unicap as well. No, he's actually quite far off it. But this is a massive air fight now. I'm at -2. It really feels like settings. And it looks like Blodir is crushing this. Look at, these are ASF. So many ASF. And there's a lot of swift wins in here for Adjux, and he's fought in Blodir's base. And Blodir absolutely crushes it. He has Oh, that was a really bad fight from Adjux. I don't know why he went for that fight. I don't know. He's making his own nuke in response. Why did he take that fight? Oh, we have T3 Navy from Blodir. And the Omen is here. It is sort of moving far too close to the battle. Needs to be using his range. But this looks very good for Blodir now, which is... He still is losing the reclaim field. But everything else, I mean... Damn, it's a very strange game. I think maybe it's just the T2 Naval Micro was the difference. I mean, Adjux now has far more income. 480 for Blodir. Adjux near 600. Just under 600. So there's still definitely a big chance for Adjux. He's still getting this reclaim. If we look at this, 85 to 58. But how is he going to win this Navy? How is he going to win this Navy? There's some reclaim now being left on Blodir's side. This Omen is going to be quite dangerous, but the Destros are good versus T3 Navy, and if he can get around it with the Destros and not miss and get the torpedoes, it's going to be really bad for Blodir. More production going up here. This is nice. Spread out across the map. A lot of production up here. Oh, these are all going to T2, these factories. He's going to be spamming a lot of frigates. He now has his own nuke launcher done. Well in range of any frigates that may be looking to attack. And Blodir is going to be nuking this location. T3 mexes. I wonder if he'll get this one. He might not. And this is special. We don't see T3 Navy on the ladder basically ever. But the T2 just went on for so long that eventually Blodir had mass in the bank and decided here's how he can get his advantage. He has time. There is the nuke. Aimed right at this expansion. He has like 3 nukes queued up, which is very unusual. It's not really how people use nukes usually, because sometimes they can go in the wrong place. And you might just change your mind. He's making an SMD now, only now. It's quite a lot later. Adjux is not assisting his nuke, so I think that SMD should be in plenty of time. Adjux now showing the settings inside of him, 82 frigates, and that's a huge amount of frigates in comparison. Like Blodir has no frigates, and these frigates could really make the difference for Adjux actually. Oh, but I did forget just for a moment about the massive air loss that Adjux suffered. And now, only now, Blodir is going to really make that count as he feels the pressure on the Navy. He now has 70 torpedo bombers. Huge amount of production on that. And he's going to send them in, and he's actually going to shield them very well. Adjux gets completely caught out with the few ASF he has. And Blodir is not even worried about flying over a few cruisers for a short period of time. He snacks all the ASF, and there's so many torpedo bombers that this is not going to work for Adjux, surely. Now, what would have been nice here is floating flak. I see shields coming, but I don't see flak, and flak would be really nice, obviously, because the torpedo bombers cannot kill them. The cruisers are vulnerable. Cruisers do a lot of damage. They do a lot of damage, but they're very vulnerable. Low HP for their cost, and they're all going to get sniped. And so I think that might be, that air fight may just be the difference. I mean, Adjux had so many, all these frigates really would have made a huge difference. But now with all these torpedo bombers, it does not matter. Damn. It's really why Navy is so interesting, because, I mean, the composition is just so much more complex than what you often see on the land. You see, knowing how many battleships should I have? Do I have enough destroyers? Do I have enough frigates as well? And then you add in the subs and stuff, then it gets even more complicated. It's because all the units have different strengths. And there's one thing on settings, you learn the power of the frigate. Get a big frig spam, lay it on, and can really run over people. But yeah, I think Adjux, damn, I think Adjux had a really nice would have had a really nice composition if not for the massive air loss. Look at all these torpedo bombers. Blodir can just make torps forever and kill basically the whole navy. Could actually be going for the production here. It would be good to kill. But really, with this, oh, even making a Tempest might not be a good idea, seeing as he's now stalling. Needs to get this SMD finished, because Adjux, oh, Adjux is stalling himself, so his nuke is not going to load. That's quite sad. And actually, he has a massive power problem. Well, not a power problem, but a huge overflow problem of power. He's now down to less than 50 frigates. He has 4 battleships, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I don't think there's any hope with this this air loss. I mean, Blodir should be, I mean, strap bombing this stuff. Could be strap bombing everything on this island. Gunships, could make a lot of gunships restorers. There's a lot to be killed and raided. Both players just singularly focused on the naval, which is fair enough. Look at how much water there is. Oh damn, there may have been some chance if Adjux wasn't stalling and if he maybe heavily assisted the nuke. This SMD is now loaded, but it was quite late. And a nuke here killing all the power in one blast, which he would have done, and the nuke. That could have been extremely brutal. And maybe enough to allow Adjux back in the game. But alas, he didn't go for that. That would be a real Hail Mary if he could actually nuke this anyway. So, not like it was a very clear option. But it would have been absolutely crushing. Yeah, we have blazes. We need flax instead of blazes, though, for sure. With all this naval production, I don't think making blazes is that good. And speaking of naval production, this is about to die. RIP these naval flax. Tempest now complete from Blodir. Yeah, nuking the front of this island would be nice now. 4 T3 mexes to kill. 65% done. Battleship's gonna go down here. Well, 70. There it goes. And a factory goes down as well. A lot of blazes from Blodir as well now. And the battleships try and duke it out. The shields taking a lot of fire. See the power of the shields here. You sort of want to get them just in front of your navy, and you can sort of patrol them back and forth, like just make a little patrol order here in front of your navy, and they will really help a lot. But as it is, there's just not enough navy left from Adjux. Blodir torped the vast majority of it into the ground, and Adjux calls GG now. Very close game, very tight game, and damn, that air loss. That air loss was absolutely disgusting. Just brutal. Because not only did he lose air just utterly, you can see it, that air fight cost him air for the entire game. Like, by far. Look at the production. He's barely bothering to make many more ASF. Had the factories paused a lot. And yeah, that really cost him the game. He also left all the reclaim from that fight right on Blodir's base. And damn, that was very, very good game. And impressive win from Blodir. He even was down to just 2 islands. Took back his expansion well with the blazes. And even up the map control. So very nice game from both of these guys. Very cool game. Cool to see T3 Navy as well. See the Omens doing work. And yeah, Torp Bombers MVP here. GG, well played both guys. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you tune in for the next one. And I'll see you then.